Hi everyone, I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings 5D. We're going to cover your astro forecast, covering all your romance, your career, you name it, we're covering it. Now, we did have an action-packed October, and we did have the full moon in Taurus on October the 31st. Now, I'll be covering each of these within each of your zodiac signs. Please look at your sun, moon, and rising. And if you do want to book a reading, you can go to the link directly below. We're also going to be doing additional reads during the month, and connected in with this, I'm going to be giving you chakra updates and more. Now, we do have this month Jupiter conjunct Pluto, and it's really amping off moving to December. So what I'm preparing to do for you guys is trying to get everything as organized as possible so you guys know what's coming up in your chakras, what's coming up in your charts, so you're well and truly prepared for each transit. Now, we are having Mercury in Scorpio going direct on the 3rd of November, and I think most of us will be relieved by that factor. We're also having Mars and Aries direct on the 14th of November, and then we're going to be having Neptune in Pisces direct on the 29th. So yet again, we will be glad that those planets are going direct. It's not to say we're out of the woods, but you know, most of what's really coming up is very much connected to our health with the Taurus full moon that we had on the 31st, which again, I'll still be making references to it because it's still through the month will be resonating and connecting with your charts. And then we're going to be having a new moon in Scorpio at 23 degrees, which is the critical degrees, and it's on the 15th. But yet again, I will connect them with that. And then last but least, before we get into your actual chart, zodiac by zodiac, we have the full moon in Gemini at 9 degrees on the 30th of November, which is a lunar eclipse. And it is connected to the nodes. So we do currently have the North node in Gemini and the South node in Sagittarius. Now, for each of you, that nodal effect will take on a very different vibration. We're moving towards the energy of Gemini, which is a transformative period, which is connected to 2.5 years. So there are themes that are going to be coming up, and definitely it will be quite pivotal connected to this lunar eclipse in Gemini. Now, it can link back to May when the nodes did shift, where we did have a new moon at 2 degrees on the 22nd of May. So again, we will look at those energies and we'll tap into your charts and tell you how it goes. For those of you that you do want a reading, you can go, as I mentioned, to the link below. Now, let's get into your messages. A very warm welcome, Taurus. Now, let's get into your astrology to guide you through the entirety of the month, house by house, situation by situation, so that you can navigate the matrix and get the very best out of this transit. Now, there is a lot going on this month. With the full moon in Taurus, October 31st, ring a bell, it is your first house placement. Now, there can be, especially because Uranus and Taurus is making a conjunction to your zodiac sign inside of this full moon, you could potentially be a little bit more than usual triggered. There also could be something personal, very much transforming inside of you, and it may have been quite an emotional month previously and moving forward. Now, it's a good time to take stock of where you were previously. You can look back to when Uranus and Taurus went retrograde. Now, that first kicked off in August on the 15th. If you can remember and you can think back to what was occurring back then, potentially where you are now, how you show yourself to the world, can even be being Taurus. Beauty, the way you see things, the way you present yourself, the way you deal with situations, your self-esteem, your vision, your image, it can really be transforming. Now, there could also be something very spiritual occurring with you because Uranus currently is in your zodiac sign of Taurus. And at times that first house, seventh house placement axis, which is what Scorpio is aspecting on your chart at the moment, it can be very complicated. It can almost feel like, is there something wrong with you? Really doing that deeper inner reflection to the point when you become relaxed and you release and you come to terms with things. A lot of situations inside of those connections flow. Now, you will find during this time of the first 5 days, it can be pretty trigger worthy there. It's a great time to clear your home. It's a great time to tie up loose ends, especially to have a little bit of quality time with yourself. Really great time to look at health. fitness regimes and things to that degree. While Mars was retrograde and it is going direct this month, I'll talk about that shortly. It is a really great time to be looking at, okay, am I in balance? This being a number 11 month, with all the aspects being made to the 8th house, which is shared resources, really taking stock of where you are, get grounded, do some guided meditation and flow through. Now, if you're not following me on Instagram, I regularly do updates connected to the moon energies, tips and tricks, and I will integrate that both into this channel with all the additional new content coming. So although the Taurus moon is linking to the 31st of October, one would say, well, it's past. Well, yes, but no, because energy flows. It's quite fluid. A lot of times in a full moon to a new moon, we have the transit over and it takes time till it reaches the next point. So you still will be tying out that energy. Old themes connected to the last time we had the moon in Taurus will be coming up, very much linking to Uranus and Taurus going retrograde. It is going direct, but that won't be till January 1st. So there's a lot of major transformations we're going through. On January the 1st, it's going to be at 18 degrees Taurus. So for you guys, there's a lot going on transit-wise. Now, spiritually speaking, and ultimately, I am going to mention a lot about what is coming up for you in the next section of this video. But first, I'm going to mention the fact that we do have the new moon in Scorpio. So the new moon in Scorpio is going to be at 23 degrees on the 15th of November. It is linking really closely in with both Venus this month, the Sun, Mercury, so we have major areas hitting your 7th house. Now, 7th house is all to do with marriages, contracts, partnerships, interconnections. Scorpio can be at times very secretive, at times very intuitive, very psychic in nature. Sometimes we can be really facing our shadows during these energies. In the retrograde effect, it's given you an opportunity to assess this area of your life, being the 7th house placement. How is your job directly relating to you? How are the people that you're connecting in with? Is it all feeling in balance? Does it feel relevant to the version of who you are with the 1st house placement, the full moon in Taurus? A lot of times when we have the axis of the 1st and the 7th house, we have this belief system that people require things of us. And sometimes they do, and sometimes we outgrow those themes. So there's a huge highlight between you and how you feel about those situations. Now, I will be speaking about the eclipse that we're having this month. And yes, at times it can create a lot of weather patterns that are changing. Also, when we link it into astrology, it does relate to Mercury, but I will talk about that further into your report. Let's get into the month-by-month energy now, month-by-month, week-by-week. Now, the major things that are happening this month is for the first 3 days, there can be real conversational pieces between your pastimes, your social endeavors, your hopes and dreams, but really to do with you and your connections mostly. So this can be this axis of responsibility situations occurring and you meditating upon it. With the Sun, there can be beliefs that you feel you know how something is sitting. Now, there is going to be something at an emotional level and a 3D level that can come up, because we do have the Sun in Scorpio making a conjunction to Uranus and Taurus. So pay attention to the dates, pretty much from the 31st of October and through to the 3rd of November. We do have Mercury in Scorpio, which is your relationship sector, the 7th house placement, squaring Saturn in Capricorn. So, you know, this can be something to do with your cultural beliefs, your responsibilities, maybe education, also your connections, and, you know, trying to balance everything, trying to bring everything together. This can even be in creative projects where, you know, upskilling and looking at situations. It can even be communication at a distance. This can also link to long distance, because it is long distance travel. If you've been needing to get somewhere, if you've been missing somebody, if you've been feeling you're missing opportunities due to what's going on in the collective. As Mercury goes direct, this is really going to take the pressure off those marriages, contracts, partnerships areas in your life, to ease the pressure, so to speak. You still will feel fatigued. That is due to the fact that we have both Aries and Chiron retrograde and Mars retrograde. Mars will be going direct on the 14th. It does hit your 12th house placement. So in your spirituality, because Uranus and Taurus is, at the moment, it's linking into our value systems, it's linking into our belief systems, the luxuries that we have in life. For you, it's your first house placement. It's you in your own vibration. But hitting the 12th house, there can be something really that is hidden from you. This can be to do, again, with your psychology, your belief systems, your emotions, to do with situations. And sometimes it's really tapping into that, feeling tired and foggy. Definitely, I will mention the energy of your chakra reports and how to balance them out and how to cope with that. But you'll find that things will flow and you could have wounds really linking into betrayals in connections, or imprisonment and things to that degree, be it your side or their side, because at times from the lower frequency spectrum of things, it can be to do with hidden enemies, secrets, things being hidden from you, your subconscious mind, how you see and have a perspective about situations. It's there to heal you so you understand it wasn't about you. It's also so that those things, even if you felt they were wrong, however it lands, that being imprisoned by those memories is not helping you because it's hindering other aspects in your life. So with Aries and Chiron, it will be there for a few years yet. Retrograde, tough energies can come up, psychoanalytical energy, meditating. It can be beautiful and spiritual. So, it doesn't have to be a negative thing, but again, because it is falling in Aries and Chiron, there can be, you may be second guessing yourself with your hopes and dreams, your psychic downloads, your ability to be creative and speak your truth, the things that have been in the dark crevices of your mind. Now, the 9th is not a great day inside of yin and yang with masculines and feminines, especially to do with relationships. Pay attention to your health on this day. Again, diet can be coming up to try and get that balance. 6th house placement can be a lot to do with diet and mind. Healthy mind, healthy body, and that's really what I see coming through. Also, you can feel maybe critical towards yourself, or people may be critical towards you. But health and pets linked to this placement. It's making an opposition to Mars, and again, with males and females or interconnections, relationships, it can cause a little bit of conflict. So try and understand that during the time of Aries and Chiron retrograde, people are very triggered. People can be sometimes a little bit snappy. Also with intimacy, things can kind of bounce off more so as Mars goes direct, because it can make us feel very lethargic. Now, as I mentioned, we're having on the 15th the new moon in Scorpio at 23 degrees. 23 degrees is the critical point. It's almost like a time ticking. And once you reach that point, there's really no turning back. So, really make sure between the time that you have assessed during Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, that you really have made up your mind as to, how you see things, how you understand things, what you're going to do to shift things about on your side of the fence. And if you feel something's imbalanced, there can be a major transformation happening in that area. It can be where relationships ease up due to communication related dynamics. It also can be a new relationship coming in, a new position coming in, going to the next level. So again, it's all for the betterment. It's never like it's happening to us. It's occurring inside of our charts, but subjects, new energies can come in, and it's what we're doing to move forward. We're having a lot of conjunction aspects this month as well between Jupiter and Capricorn. And again, things to do with travel, things to do with religion, education, foreign countries can be coming up. If you're dealing with paperwork, it should ease as Mercury goes direct on the 3rd. But you will find that anything in these subjects will pan out after the 15th. On the 21st, we have the Sun entering Sagittarius. This does land in your 8th house placement. This can be to do with legacies. It also can be to do with growing your finances. It can be really great ideas. The ability to network with individuals that are like-minded and willing to work with you on your endeavors, and this will link to your marriages, contracts, partnerships. Now, we do have the South Node in Sagittarius, and you really do need to pay close attention to that 8th house. Wherever you were comfortable. That area of your life is transforming. So if you had always been fending for yourself, now it's the attraction of those energies coming into your life to balance life out. And really with the 1st and the 7th house placement, it really does teach you that through those placements, and it will be there for a while. But on this occasion, it's asking you to directly look at this area. Now, the North Node is hitting your 2nd house placement. This can be your place of land, material value, personal value, your self-esteem, the food you eat. So with the 2nd house placement, there's a lot transforming inside of you personally. Also, where people weren't there, it may have been that it's occurring this way to assist with growing your self-esteem, your emotions. Now, 8th house placement can also, at a very separate level, be to do with, you know, previous energies of people that were there for you but had passed away. And this could have been a while ago. And it doesn't have to be most recently. I'm not really feeling that. This is more to do with people who maybe exited your life in some shape or form, you know, terminated that contract, so to speak. It just wasn't working, and then really having to fend for yourself. And the huge lesson now is transforming both of those houses over the next 2.5 years with the nodes in both Sagittarius and Gemini. Now, the way you grow, the way you develop can be different. With the Sun in Sagittarius, it can be you're actually looking at things that do benefit you from a holistic, healthy point of view. You could be cutting some things out of your life that you feel don't serve you, but I will mention that further into the chart. So we'll be having on the 29th, Neptune and Pisces going direct. So your social crowd, your hopes and dreams can be shifting and changing about. Pay attention to this time. If you're wishing to build, it's a good time. And also at a financial level, you will find that by the time you reach the energy of the 16th, the date, things should start shifting and moving. And there are great aspects that if we're shifting and changing situations throughout the month with the conjunction points between Jupiter in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn, that these conjunction points can really bring some fantastic things forward. Anything else I need to hit with? Pay attention to your health on the 19th, especially overdoing working. Caution with traveling. Even though we do have Mercury going direct, because we are having the eclipse in Gemini, and it does relate to driving, it's the requirement during the next 2.5 years really to be very cognitive in our mind when it does come to concentration. Now, you know, aggressive driving, anger, distortion of mind, Neptune can cause that. So, you know, paying attention to those things and trying to be very present, you know, rest up where you need be. You may feel very fatigued. We're really needing to push forward, even if we are feeling fatigued, because a lot of these adjustments are directly, and it sounds crazy, they're preparing us for 2021. 2021 is a better vibration than the years we have experienced of late. And I'm sure all of us will be very happy to hear that. Now for your chakra report. Now we are having, due to the fact that we had the full moon in Taurus on October the 31st, 1 to 2 weeks during that time, be careful, there can be large triggers. If you do need support, coaching, etc., or you want me to cross-reference charts, birth charts, there is the booking link directly below and I can assist you with that. Now, the chakras that are coming up, especially with your zodiac sign, is heart chakra and higher heart chakra. Pay attention also to your solar plexus with the fatigue, and also drink extra fluid, especially if you find yourself getting dehydrated. You do tend to find that crown chakra with your 12th house placement can actually deplete fluids. So pay attention to that, especially with foggy mind. Now, as to the Sagittarius energy and you trying to manifest the finances into your life, it does link to sacral chakra, and there is a bit of an imbalance of that this month. So caution with that energy. At times you can get a little bit triggered and maybe feel, can you complete things? Are you going to be okay? Is there something, you know, sometimes it can even be where we don't feel as sassy in our own vibration, and you guys being a Venus sign, that's not really common. So you know, checking in with that. How has the self-care been? Have we been looking after ourselves? Any fear-based frequency during Aries and Chiron retrograde? It does move by the 15th of next month. But until then, 12th house placement of your psychology can come up. It's repeating things people said, feeling emotional, and things to that degree. So pay attention to those chakras, and that should assist you moving forward during the month. Now, Taurus, as I mentioned, there is the element this month of health due to the moons that we had last month being Venus signs and your zodiac. Plus, because we have Aries and Chiron retrograde, we really are checking in with our health. With the yin yang effect, this being a vibration 11 month, it's getting into duality. As Mars goes direct, you will have more energy to get back into exercise, achieve your daily routine, feel more spiritually in alignment. Superstitious energy can come through with the Scorpion moon. Ultimately speaking, the food and the energy and the sustenance of 8th house placement, shedding things out of our diet that we don't require, looking at emotions and wounds, especially with the 12th house placement, and getting into that balance. You know, are people helping you? Is there give and take within your marriages, contracts, partnerships? Is there give and take? Is there help? Is there something you can do to shift it about? Really making solid decisions for the betterment of your health and your well-being. I do feel meditation will assist you with the 12th house. And I'm also feeling paying attention to the dates of Mercury going direct will ease up. Throat chakra I am feeling, but that's only from the point of view that sometimes words can feel like weapons. So, you know, really just gauging it and trying not to take things personal during this transit due to the fact that we do have Aries and Chiron retrograde. Journaling can be a really great thing. And for the creativity, dancing can actually move it. Walking, dancing, any sense of movement can really balance you out to a point you can feel more energized. Go on to the green smoothies, check out some recipes for chakras. You can use guided meditation as well as gemstones and crystals. But if you are having higher heart chakra activations, don't overexert yourself till Mars goes direct. We still will have Aries and Chiron, which is linked to Mars. So, you know, pace yourself, everything in moderation, obviously. If you're needing a checkup, it's a great month to have a checkup. Always seek medical advice if you're requiring it. This is from astrological point of view and chakra orientated. Otherwise, it is looking pretty sweet for you. Many things could be happening with this chart, and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing various ways this can play out. One is your value system in the first house placement is changing, therefore certain areas in your life could be changing also, because you do have 7th house placement. Now, there also may be commutes that is causing difficulty. There also could be locational related issues. Some of you may be thinking about moving abroad, moving far. There also could be education and upskilling that's required. So inside of your money and your career, I do feel with movements, it is going to ease up. There are great aspects on the 8th, where you can tap into your hopes and dreams and your pastimes and link in with contracts. By the time we do reach the 9th, there can be a bit of contention, but, you know, just be patient with it and keep persevering forward. But there will be ways you can look at things. You also could be, with that, talking to a lot of people over the internet, you know, checking emails and moving forward. If there has been confusion and delay, I'm also seeing check your bank statements to do with providers that you're connecting in with. Because with the 7th house placement and the aspect of Mercury and Scorpio, paying attention to your bank details, paying attention to what's coming in, what's coming out. Because Scorpio can be quite secretive, so there could be something hidden and you missed in a sense of a payment coming out that you didn't notice. And it's a really good time once Mercury goes direct to really fine tune and have a look at these areas. I'm also seeing as Mars going direct, you'll have more energy. A lot of money might be going into, again, a bigger picture and a plan. I do feel you're traveling a lot though. That's what I'm saying. There is a major decision. You may also be investing in yourself. And I keep hearing the term, and I'm going to have to do these channel messages inside of the romance read, but it's almost like that. I feel there's a little bit of regret that you had wanted to do something a bit differently and wishing you had done it earlier. Your health by the 3rd week, or 15th, I should say, is going to be coming up. So, you know, pay attention to it. You could be spending money on areas to do with this. I'm also seeing money coming in by the 16th and beyond. Now, as the sun enters Sagittarius, money-related dynamics can come up. And money can be coming from other people. So either you or a partner, you or a contractor could be really moving forward at that point. But I would, if you are thinking of going overseas at any point, you know, what you're going to do to save, what you're going to do to get yourself, you know, into alignment so you can do the things that you want to do. And this does not have to be long distance. I mean, long distance, depending on how society is in this day and age. I mean, local energy can be 4 or 5 suburbs. Further away, yes, at times we do deem it as overseas, but it can be in a different state, etc. There does seem to be something in a sense of communication coming through, but anything you're planning, it's more so linking in with health at the moment, with your connections and relationships. Some of you may be planning a wedding, but a wedding also could be on the cards. Could even be an anniversary, but it's 9th house. Us to know and love was up next. So let's get into love, Taurus. Now, last but not least, well, it's not really last. It's one of the first things really we think about, isn't it? Money, love, shelter. Let's get into it. Now, yes, most of this month it's about relationships. What's been hidden from you? What are your emotions? Maybe you keeping things to yourself. Where is this going? I keep hearing that term. Where is this going? Responsibilities, your side, their side. Contention on the 9th. I'm seeing health, self-esteem, psychology, and diet coming up. I also see shared resources come up for conversations at this point. Definitely if you are single and you've been waiting on someone, I do feel as Mercury and Mars go direct, you've got more opportunity for communication with that love interest you're thinking of. When it does come to the sun in Sagittarius, I feel letting things go, checking the health of scenarios, emotions. You also could meet somebody if you are single around this time. You will be very different with your aura. So you may find that as the planets start going direct, that the way your appearance is shifts and changes. And it's almost like the proverbial saying, taking the bull by the horns and getting life back in order. And I just feel you guys are going to be really oozing beauty this month and looking really top notch. The first few weeks, I really don't feel so, but it's not from a beauty skin deep, really. But sometimes, you know, we can have those Bridget Jones's days, and that's really what's coming through. Feeling fatigue, getting, you know, having all these emotions coming up, trying to organize scenarios, and, you know, stopping and actually taking stock. And the full moon in Taurus is really an opportunity to do that. As you move forward with Mercury going direct in your romance house, I feel much of the second half of the month to be absolutely glorious. There still can be slight scenarios happening, but they're coming up to be resolved. So, you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But I really feel that, you know, crosswise with what you guys are wanting, maybe differing in views. With Mars going direct, give it a good 3-4 days easy for it to calm down. And then things should really balance by about the 20th. When you have Neptune going direct, there can be social activities occurring. You may also, for those of you that are single, meet someone through a social crowd also. As we have the eclipse in Gemini, your self-esteem can be under review. And I do feel, again, the way you look, your diet and things to that degree can be changing. People can really notice you around this time. Be careful of what you're saying. I'm seeing a person actually listening also, but I'm feeling very positive towards romance. Give yourself a break, really, at an emotional level. If you've been really flat out, very emotional, things are shifting. Things are going to start balancing out romantically. First thing I'm hearing, don't put your dreams on hold. Rome wasn't built in a day, no. With Mars being retrograde, it has caused fatigue. I'm seeing with the 11th house placements, there can be opportunities for success. There also could be new hopes and dreams coming through. There also can be travel on the card. So don't reduce yourself to feeling you can't achieve some of these things. I'm really seeing your life to be very interesting over the next 2.5 years, especially around the time of the new moon in Scorpio and towards the beginning of the month, really. By the 21st, I really see a lot of things balancing. You also could get a few wins when it does come to finances. Now, your dreams with Neptune retrograde, sometimes we can have, especially with the Scorpio aspects, nightmares. People that are passed over, we're more inclined to channel them through our dream state. We can smell them, you know, the cologne or the perfume that they would wear. You also could see somebody in the crowd or think about them and bang, get a phone call from even from the people that are here in the 3D. So pay attention to your psyche. Document down what you're feeling inside your dreams, because they really can be telling you something also about your life, of what is occurring and where some blockages are. Now with the eclipse, like I said, I'm seeing your self-esteem building. I do feel things should balance out. Around the new moon in Gemini in May, we had the nodes shift. Like I said, it was at 2 degrees. It was on the 22nd of May. We are in this cycle for 2.5 years. So the axis of both Gemini and Sagittarius are really making conversational pieces towards your life moving forward, both with your shared resources and what you physically have. So I really do feel a lot of binding coming up for you, but not in a bad way. This is more things coming towards you. Now, the energy of Gemini is very social. It can link to education. It can link to technology. It also can be a local area. The things we do to have fun, going to the movies, having lunch with friends, all of those subjects very separately can come into that area. There may be also, with the axis of Sagittarius and Gemini over the next few years, changes happening towards our belief systems. If you're single, you could become married. If you're married, you could become single. You get the gist. But it's more the psychology surrounding conditioning. Less than, you know, separations. I mean, that's more through choice and feeling that something's not in alignment. And really from your chart, that's what I'm saying. So, as Mercury goes direct, potentially Yildiz from Yildiz Readings won't put her foot in her mouth. I'm hoping you found this information and the content valuable. Please use it to guide you through this month. I will be back for all the new updates. We do have live videos that I'm doing this month. There is going to be super chat. It is directly just for romance. It'll be psychically channeled with tarot and oracle. So if you do want to join me and you are a you know, an old subby and you've been here for a while, thank you guys. I love you to bits. If you're a newbie, very, very warm welcome. Welcome to the group. So click the bell. I'll see you on the other side. Have a great month and stay tuned.